here to bring you my full breakdown and prediction video for each and every fight going down at UFC Fight Night, Saturday, April 18th in Winnipeg, Canada, in the Canada Life Center. Very impressive fight, UFC 327, last week. So we'll see how Canada fares this week. All right, let's kick it off with the first fight. Jamie Siraj versus John Yanis. Yanis, he wasn't very impressive at all last year in his debut against Bashi, but then again, Bashi is like a marauder in that division. He just looked like he wasn't ready. Bashi took him down, submitted him. It was a really bad look. But Bashi's Bashi, and I expect great things from him. And John Yanis just looked like he wasn't ready. I don't know if it was he took the fight on short notice or whatnot, but it just did not look good. So hopefully he's been training to make a better. Hopefully he'll look better in this fight this week. He's going up against Siraj, who is not that young, but he's making his UFC debut. He hasn't fought much competition either. None of these guys have great competition level of fighting. But yeah, if Siraj takes him down and Giannis could be in a world of trouble. Okay, he definitely has a direct path to win here, and that's implementing his wrestling and takedown. I think Giannis will probably lose the early part of the fight. He may come back at the end. If he weathers a storm and survives and make it fun at the end, make it a fun fight towards the end. But we're in Canada. Siraj is Canadian, so it's not looking good for Giannis. I'm gonna venture to say that Siraj wins this by decision to start off the night. All right, next we got John Castaneda versus Mark Vologdin. Castaneda, to me, he's your typical Mexican brawler in the UFC. Pushes a good pace, has a really good gas tank. He is on a 2-fight losing skid, but those 2 fights are to really decent fighters, so I'm not gonna knock him for that. And so Vologdin is making his UFC debut. Smaller guy. Both of these guys like to box. Both of these guys like to throw down. So it is going to be a pretty good match. I think both guys will throw, and neither are going to be shy about that. But Vologdin, he needs to bring the fight to John. All right, don't let John get started, because if John gets started, it could be a long night for him. If John starts landing his 1-2s early. I think John has too much experience at the end of the day. I think he'll be successful and implement his game plan. He could take a couple shots from Mark Vologdin, but I think he'll come back and get the late TKO in the later rounds, or possibly sub. But I'll lean with a late TKO, probably round 3. All right. Next we got J.J. Aldrich and Jamie Lynn Horth. Interesting fight here. J.J. Aldrich, I don't think she's been around. I don't think she's fought in like over a year, and I don't like that for the women's flyweight when they're inactive. It's usually not good. I look at Jamie Lynn Horth, and she's 9-2. She could pretty much do it all. But J.J. Aldrich, these two are more. This is a more competitive fight than it seems like. Jamie Lynn Horth, her only losses are to what? Miranda Maverick, which she's really good, and Macedo, who's also, she just loses to top ranked opponents, which J.J. Aldrich could be top ranked. I mean, she is ranked. She's ranked 14, and Jamie Lynn Horth isn't ranked, so she's gonna look to get in into the rankings here with this win. Uh, man, JJ Aldrich is tough though. You know, she trains at Elevation Fight Team, which that's gonna help. That's gonna help a lot. Uh, ooh, you know, she's fought better competition, I would say, than Jamie Lynn Horth. But you know, both gals are fairly decent. If the fight goes a distance, you know, it could go. The judges could sway it to Jamie Lynn Horth, but I think even though the inactiveness scares me, I think the fact that she's fought the better competition and she's done better against them, I'm gonna go with J.J. Aldrich for the decision win. Yeah, I'm not too confident about that because you know it is Jamie Lynn Horth's hometown, but I think JJ just the experience and who she's fought and how she's fought them is gonna give her the edge here. All right, next we got Mitch Raposo versus Alan Nascimento. Raposo, man, I saw him lose last year when they came down here to Miami. He lost to Mudarji. Uh, Alan Nascimento. Alan Nascimento lost his UFC debut uh, in a decision to a Dagestani wrestler, which kind of everybody, those guys get you down, you know, and you don't have a game plan. You're pretty much stuck in the mud there. But you know, but ever since that, he's been pretty impressive. He's been on a 4-win streak ever since that. You know, he subbed Durden, which is really good. Durden has a really good game. You know, in his last fight, he seems to be just gaining confidence with every fight ever since that first loss, and that's no knock. He's a shooter box guy. I like shooter box. Those guys, they're trained really well. He's gonna be well prepared. Uh, he's gonna come with the kicks. He's shooter box guys are well prepared in all assets. Unless you're fighting, you know, the talk about the top five, then that's a different story. But I like Alan Nascimento here. I like him a lot. I like him probably to sub Raposo and sub him quick. You know, Raposo did win his last fight, but you know it's just the level that he's fought isn't impressive, and I just think he's gonna be outclassed here, especially if it goes down to the ground. Yeah, he's just in trouble. I mean, he has a better record overall than Nascimento, but I just think Nascimento will be way more prepared, and yeah, and I just don't see this fight lasting very long. So give me Nascimento by sub. All right, next we got Crogden. Melissa Croden versus Daria Zelekyanov. This is welcome to your OnlyFans fight of the night. This is interesting. Yeah, I would love to see these two throw down in other ways besides fighting as well. Now Crogden, very pretty girl, but don't let the looks fool you. She can crack. All right. I know most women come out here. Most women fights are, you know, they seem to go the distance. Their decision, not Melissa. She's here. She's here to crack, and she has some buzz on her punches. You know, but she's fighting Iron Lady, and her only loss in the UFC is to Eileen Perez. Uh, you know, she showed her that her, you know, her ground game is levels above hers, and yeah, it just her ground game's a joke basically. Um, so if Melissa wants to take this down to the ground, she probably will have an advantage there, but that's not her game. Her game is not to take you down to the ground. Her game is just she's a striker. She's a striker. She tries to end the fight early, as early as possible. And both of these girls come to fight. This is gonna be a good little war here for as long as it lasts. Um, Unless Croden wants to implement something new in her game, she wants to come with a little wrinkle in her game and wrestle. That will be interesting, but overall, I see a 15-minute war here from both of these gals, and I see Croden landing more of the punches. So give me Croden by decision here. This is good. It's going to be a good fight. It's very interesting. I'm very eager to watch this fight. All right, next fight is Tanner Boser versus Gokhan Sarkam. Sorry. Sorry. Gokhan Sarkam. Say that 10 times fast. So, yeah, Boser's back. Hasn't fought in the UFC in about 2.5 years. He's decent heavyweight unless he fights, someone that's powerful or with good lateral quickness. Then he's inefficient. When he fights a guy that's really powerful or someone that can just move around and keep him, that's not gonna stay in front of him, it's just stay stationary and throw. But besides that, he's not bad at all. He's from Canada, so he's another home guy. And then this guy he's fighting, the Turkish guy, Gokhan. The ground game is a weakness. So if Boser wants to take him down, that will be a clear path for him. He'll have different ways to win the fight there. If this guy Gokhan wants to stick around, he better work on his ground game, and he better be ready to stuff some takedowns, which I don't think he is. But let me see. He has been suspended for PEDs, so he's probably not too serious about his career. You never know. I don't think Boser is gonna take him down, but he is way more experienced than Gokhan is, and he's from Canada. So let's go with Boser by decision here. All right. The next fight is Julian LeBlanc versus Robert Valentin. Robert Valentin is a soldier, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to see this guy back in the UFC. Just to see him fighting again in the UFC. I did not think we'd see him again after his last fight. He's an honorable guy. He stepped up and took a fight against Gaultier, which not many guys will do in that division. Sure, they're having tough. Having not everybody stepping up to fight that guy, and he almost did. He almost lasted a whole round with him. He's on a 3-fight skid. But he did do the UFC a favor, and he stepped up and fought Gaultier. He's a soldier. He's not afraid. He'll fight anybody. But it wasn't an impressive fight at all. But he did take it, and he is on a 3-fight skid, which is not good. And this guy LeBlanc is he's 10-2 overall. I think he's won 5 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. He's never been finished. But he is making his UFC debut. So will he have the jitters or will he be ready? I think he's the real deal. I think this guy Julian is the real deal. He's Is he all he's hyped up to be? We'll see on Saturday night. I say yes. I say he's he is from Canada, so he got the crowd there. This is his chance. He's a very accomplished fighter outside of the UFC, so let's see what he can do here. I think Robert's gonna come out aggressive, but then I think as a second round, Julian will come out and it'll be a totally different fight. and he'll probably end up winning by a rear naked choke in rounds 2 or 3, either or. We'll see. All right, so that leads us. Yeah, those are the prelims. I got Siraj, Castaneda, Aldrich, Nascimento, Crogdon, Bozer, and LeBlanc. All right, that takes us to our main card. And the first fight of the main card is Denis Buzukja versus Marcio Barboza. This guy Dennis, he's an average fighter out of Syndicate MMA. Hasn't fought since August of 2024, and which is not good. That inactivity is not good. He's nothing special. I don't see anything special when this guy fights. He's just he's just a regular fighter. I don't see anything that he really tries to do that sticks out. I guess a Brazilian guy like Marcio Barboza, he better bring something because this guy he really likes. I really like this guy. He's 27 years old, very explosive. He only has 2 losses, but he's very powerful. He has a good sub game. He makes quick work. This guy comes to fight. I think he's only had 1 decision in all of his fights. So yeah, he comes to work. He comes to work and he comes to work quick. So yeah, give me Marcio by first round sub. I don't think Dennis is ready. I don't like the long layoff, and this guy's just too good. So yeah, give me Marcio by sub or TKO, but I say sub and I say early. All right, next we got Thiago Moises versus Gage Young. Interesting fight here. Gage Young, he's very young. Young. Guy looks. He's a young guy. He's improving in every fight. He is getting better with every fight. He's growing. He's becoming more. I guess you could say he's getting more comfortable. Look for him to push the pace against Thiago Moises. He has to come out and just be a dog if he wants to win. Just come out and just take it to him. Kind of like McKinney does. He comes out guns blazing. That's what he's gonna have to do here, and just hope he catches Moises because Thiago's very very experienced. He trains with the Fighting Nerds, which we know what those guys are all about. He has fought way more deeper experience competition, so competition level that these guys have faced, there's no, yeah, it's not fair. Thiago Moises has a lot more experience, has fought way better competition. His last fight didn't look too good. He got KO'd by Gordon, but Gordon is a tough guy, and he's gonna try to knock everybody out. That's what he does. But then again, he has subbed Melquise Costa, which is really good because Melquise Costa has a really good ground game and he's not an easy guy to take out. So it's interesting here. Interesting that they say styles make fights, and these are 2 different styles, which is going to be interesting because one has experience and the other guy's younger, and we'll see. We'll see who can implement their game plan better. I say Thiago Moises by decision, just because he has more experience and he's been around and I take it that they're gonna have him more prepared for this fight than Gage will be. But Gage could come out and crack him, and take that win. He is very powerful, and I'm not gonna say that Thiago Moises is straight up gonna win this, but I'll take Thiago to win by decision. All right, next we got Jasmine Jasdavicius versus Karine Killer Silva. Oh boy, you know, the last fight, Jasmine got KO'd by Fiorot, but I think Fiorot's, she's ranked in the top three, so there's no shame there. I think before that she had like five straight wins or something like that. Um, Karine Silva, she's a tough cookie. She's a tough cookie. She took Macy Barber, sorry, to a decision in her last fight, which that's pretty impressive. I think Macy Barber is probably one of the top girls in that division. So, both of these girls are ultra aggressive. This is another one that these two girls, just like the other two, they come to win fights, and they try to take their opponent out. They're not there for the decision win. They're not there to look cute afterwards. They're there to impose damage on their opponent and get them out of there. So I like this women's fight as well. Um, Karine Silver's tough, man. She has a continuous motor, and she does not stop. She's gonna try to take her down. She'll use all of her tools. But the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, the problem is Jazz the Vicious. I could be wrong, but I believe she's undefeated at home, and we are in Canada. So, you know, I say uh, I say Jasmine Jazz the Vicious will win by decision. I don't think either lady. I mean, either or could get subbed here, or if they get caught in a bad position, they could get TKO'd. But I think these two are gonna put on a hell of a show. And yeah, give me Jasmine Jazavicius by decision just because we're in Canada and I can't go against her in Canada. I just can't. I've seen it too many times and I will not do it. All right, next. Low key. This is low key fight of the night potential here. All right, we got Mandel Nalo versus Jay Herbert. Haven't seen this guy in a while, man. I haven't seen the Black Country Banger in a while. I thought he retired. He's 37. Uh, 37. He's been in a lot of wars lately. Um, I want to say his last five fights have all been decisions. And, we're talking about guys like Taco Padilla. I think he's fought Bedoya in there. Ziam, Ludovic Klein. I think that fight was I think it was a tie. It was a draw. But that was a good fight. His last five fights have been decisions, and decisions where guys have been throwing down. So this guy comes to fight. He comes to throw. You know, he's been KO'd by Ilya. So yeah, not many people can survive Ilya. But yeah, he's been out for over a year. So hopefully, I don't know if he called it quits and came back, or if he's just sharpening up his tools. But he better be ready because the guy he's fighting, this guy Nalo, he trains with Sahabi, so he's gonna be he is making his UFC debut. But this guy's knowledgeable. He's well rounded. He'll be prepared. He's good. He's good. He likes throwing from different angles. Yeah, they're gonna have him ready for this. That's why I say this is a low key fight of the night. I think this is gonna be a lot of strikes landed here by both guys. Unless Nalo can just implement his game, some wrestling and take him down. And if not, I see this being an all-out war. But yeah, just give me Nalo by decision, and yeah, getting a decision win here in his UFC debut at home. Next, our co-main event of the night is Kyler Phillips versus Charles Jourdain. And Kyler Phillips, what I don't like about him is that most of the times he's a little hesitant. You know, uh, he has lost to guys that he should have beat. Um, I know everybody can have an off night, but you know, I don't like the L's that he has. I think they should have been wins. I mean, Rob Font and Felicius Oliveira. He could have won those, man. He's a little too hesitant. Uh, he's 12-4. He's 12-4 overall. Um, this fight, these guys are evenly matched. You know, Charles Jourdain, Kyler Phillips percentage wise record is better than Charles Jourdain, but Charles Jourdain is at home. You know, we're here in Canada, and when we're in Canada, the Canadian fighters they step up, man. They step up. The crowd's behind them. It's different, man. It's different. It's like a cheat code, you know. Um, at home, Charles Jourdain could be very dangerous. He's won four out of his last six. Um, really good submission skills. You know, he trains with a Brazilian top team, so he already likes to submit, and then he's training with Brazilian killers. Yeah, man, this could be good for him. You know, his two losses were two legit opponents, so it's not like if he loses to. I like his losses better than Phillips' losses. All right, who's he lost to? Let's see. Oh, he got KO by Gene Silva. And then he lost a split decision to Woodson. So yeah, everybody else, he's basically no. I think he lost to Wood as well, but yeah, he has some losses there, but they're two tough guys. I think he's fought the better competition, and he's at home. So yeah, give me Jourdain by decision. He could end up getting you know, a highlight reel sub or KO here in the third round if if Phillips doesn't bring his A game. But I'll take him to win by decision just to be safe. All right, guys. If you haven't by now, like and subscribe. Let me know how you feel. Let me know if there's anything that I'm off on here, or how. Just let me know. Let's engage in some banter here. All right. The main event of the evening is Gilbert Dorino Burns versus Mike Malott. Mike Malott has been nothing short of impressive. His stint here in the UFC, very impressive resume for him. He's beaten guys like Kevin Holland, Radke, which we saw. We saw both of those guys last week. Uh, Guy's dangerous, man. He's dangerous. He comes in for the kill, and you know, his only one loss was to Neil Magny, and he just came in. He came in loaded, ran out of gas, and you know, that's all she wrote. A veteran like Neil Magny with a great gas tank, he's gonna take advantage of that if you don't finish him. But but yeah, that was 4 years. That was 2 years ago. Um, Hopefully he's learned from that. Besides that, man, he's gone through everybody. He can submit the best of them. He can KO you. He's game, bro. He comes to fight. Um, yeah, he's a top prospect, and he's at home. He's Canadian. He's fighting a guy that Gilbert Burns is on a. He's lost four in a row. Um, he's seen a ton more than him though. He's been in there with almost everybody. This almost nobody. This guy hasn't fought. Um, yeah, man, he's been very bad lately. That last fight against Morales Morales just took it to him. And you know, this is the type Morales fights the same way that that Malott fights. You know, he comes very aggressive, hands up, just ready to take your head off. So hopefully he learned from that. Hopefully he learned from that, and you know he's not gonna let it happen again. But before that, he lost to Brady, which is a really good wrestler. Brady is. You know, then JDM KO'd him, and then he lost to Marab. I'm sorry, Muhammad Bilal. So I mean, he's fought top level guys. So you can't expect him to beat guys like this at this stage of his career, especially guys with heavy wrestling game. But I don't think Malat has a heavy wrestling game. I think Gilbert's gonna weather the storm the first few rounds, and then he's always live on the sub there. I think he'll wait till Malat just you know loses a couple energy points, and then yeah, Gilbert to take over. I think his experience will take over in the later rounds, and and I think this guy's gonna pull out the upset special and get that sub in the late rounds. Could be the fourth, could be the fifth. It could be an all out decision. But yeah, oh man, if Malatis KOs him, and that's the way his career ends, I'll be sad. But I just don't see that happening. I don't see. I see most of the Canadian fighters. Probably, I picked almost all of them to win. But yeah, this one's not, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see him winning there. I see Burns with a sub in the late rounds here, and there you go. Those are your picks for UFC Fight Night in Canada, in Winnipeg on Saturday. Click like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later with the best picks for this card. I'll drop that down tomorrow. All right, take care. Have a good one.